Hello Wobblies! Welcome to Wobbly Otter Outdoors. I'm Chris, and in this episode we are using seam grip to replace the areas of the seam tape where it's come loose inside a rooftop tent. In our 2-year rooftop tent update video, we showed you how the seam tape is coming off of the interior seams, mainly around the top center portion of the tent. So what we're going to do first is pull these until they're not coming free anymore easily, and then we're going to trim off all the loose parts all around the tent, and then we're going to paint a seam seal over the seams. The product we're using to cover the seams is Seam Grip. It's a waterproof seam sealer. I'll be applying it with metal-handled acid brushes. We'll put the seam grip in a glass jar so it'll be easier to get on the brush to apply, and hopefully I won't get it all over the tent that way. I'm going to be wearing gloves, a face mask, The seam grip says that it is flammable and has dangerous fumes, so that's the reason for opening up all of the windows in the tent. Today's temperature is in the upper 60s, low 70s, so it's the first nice day we've had that we're going to have a series of warm days so that I can apply the seam seal and it'll have 8 to 12 hours to cure. On the packaging for the seam grip, 8 to 12 hours is the curing time. We'll have a warm day tomorrow also as well. It'll be in the low 80s, and we'll just leave the tent open so it can air and the seam grip can cure. The instructions say to be sure that the seam seal spreads out 1/4 of an inch on either side of the seam. It is quite smelly. Well, that's easy. It's been just shy of 24 hours since we applied the seam grip, so let's check it out and see what it looks like. So you might have seen when I was applying the seam grip to the seams that I got some of it on the poles on the inside of the tent. That was no trouble to get loose. When everything had dried and cured, I was able to push the wall of the tent in, and then the seam grip just let go of the tent pole, so that was all nice and smooth and it didn't pull off the seams, it stuck to the fabric. And then on the pole itself, there were some places where I'd gotten little drips that were separate, and I was able to pull those little drops off of the poles without any trouble at all. I was a little nervous about using the seam grip because I had never used a seam seal before. It's very easy to do and it went on nice and smooth. It's smooth. And the other thing is how quick it was to put on. One thing that I will do in the future is I will pull off the seam tape that's loose and cut it, and then immediately paint over that part with the seam grip, because I found that I was having trouble remembering all the little parts that didn't have small bits of seam tape where I cut them off, and I worried that I would miss one. So all in all, I think the seam grip is awesome. The high gloss finish doesn't bother us at all, and there wasn't a need to put any powder or anything on it because it was sticky, because it wasn't sticky. As an interesting side note, I just want to say that this is the first time I've ever seen our little dehumidifier packs actually have the blue dot that turned pink. It turns pink when it's absorbed a lot of moisture and it's time to run it through the microwave and dry it out again. When we unpacked the tent and I looked at the little dehumidifiers, we had 2 of them in there. They both have pink dots instead of blue. Time to go run them through the microwave and dry them out. When the tent isn't closed up, we keep the dehumidifier packs sealed in Ziploc baggies and just park them in one of the side pouches of the tent. Thanks for watching, Wobbly Otter. We love you and we hope all your tomorrows are bright. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you for watching and subscribing to Wobbly Otter Outdoors.